Alright, I'm really excited to play Great Ace Attorney today, because we're gonna start Case 4 today. Well, they're not really called cases, are they? They're called episodes. But I just call them cases out of, like, habit. So, yeah. So, I noticed this title, recently. I think I noticed it as I was ending the episode or something. I don't think I pointed it out, though, but yeah. Notice how the episode name is called Twisted Karma and His Last Bow? Now, karma and karma sound very similar. I think they're basically the same thing. So, I just figured I'd point that out, because that's kind of a hint. And also a sign that you shouldn't look at the names of the chapters before you play them. Unless you're doing them in order.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed
Mysteries,
of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement.
What, the
A
gingers?
hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night.
Executed Order 66, more like it.
And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow.
Oh, well, there he
For
goes.
our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
I never really know what to make of these intro scenes. They're just kind of like, you know, parts of Herlock Sholmes stories. Which is cool, I guess. But I don't know, they don't really tell you much about the case, do they? They just say, like occasionally they do. It's like, yeah, there's a backroom murder, it seems. And, in the last case, it was like, there's a great exhibition going on, but not much more beyond that. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosmo regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Waterloo. Oh, wow. Dude, this reminds me of Luigi's Mansion 3. Professor Mikitoba's due to arrive at any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Really? Mikitoba's coming? Suzusan hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Cosmo-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. I think I already kind of know a bit of the story about how this goes, because I'm pretty sure there was 3 people who came to London. So Mikitoba was one of them. The professor was another, and then the other one, I don't know if I should spoil or not, but I know who the third person is. And it is kind of a big spoiler, but like, I don't mind the spoiler too much because I don't have the context, and the context is the really important part anyways. Didn't you say that Professor Mikitoba knew that Cosmo was going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. Yeah, he's being very secretive for some reason. That probably means he knows then about Cosmo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Oh, there she is! Oh yeah, another thing I got spoiled on? Yeah, is, his outfit. I've seen this outfit a few times in the thumbnails. Oh, father! Hello, Suzuto, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Oh, and Jigoku's here, too. Yeah, so I got spoiled on... I wouldn't really call it a spoiler, but I'd seen thumbnails and, like, I think on the wiki somewhere, of Mikatoba in this outfit. And I was like, wow. I wonder if that's going to be important to one of the cases, and I guess it's in case 4. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I've always looked forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do I feel as though I've seen him before? I take it you're from expression you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo guilty. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency. Hello, Judge Higoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. Okay, so it's not really a spoiler then, because they revealed it right now. Yeah, he was the 3rd person who came to London with Mikatoba and the Professor. To be honest, never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Eugen? Of course, Judge Higoku, he must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Cosmo's father and Professor Mikatoba. Okay, well, there, that clears that up. He's the 3rd visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggages searches at the border took a rather lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Oh, I knew you were jealous. Sorry, ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro was also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Cosmo's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. Almost said 8 years ago, and I'm like, wow. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. I kind of forgot that Suzuto's been with us since the end of the last case. Kind of forgot about it. Don't mind me just drinking some of my tea. By the way, I asked the boys if I should do a Tomodachi Life today. Cause after the announcement of Tomodachi Life on the Switch, I kind of been a little interested in coming back to Tomodachi Life again. So I figured now would be a pretty good time to kind of home in on that and bank on it and make some videos on it again, because I feel like now they'll get even more views than ever, since, more people are interested in Tomodachi Life coming back. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? Oh, okay. Can I well, here, let's present my band. Professor Mikatoba, I wonder, can I show you something? Why do you seem so nervous? I suppose because I'm a student showing something to a professor, that's always quite nerve-wracking. Well, I'm sorry I perturb you in that way, but anyway, I'm afraid I have nothing useful to say about that. What? I feel like, of all people, he should have something to say about the frickin' armband. Okay. Well, actually... I feel like I should examine this whole area. Look at that! It's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exhibition's one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in many ways. There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at UMA University. The attendant there is always boasting that's the tallest object in the neighborhood. Wow, it's like dick measuring contests. I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in the Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? What? How? How many times taller than the chimney in Yume Silken Hot Springs is that? And if it's that tall, how does it draw properly? The smoke would get stuck, surely. I don't think it's that sort of tower, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, I was gonna say the Crystal Tower kind of looks like the Eiffel Tower, doesn't it? Well, I can't examine the luggage. Oh, folly. Have you seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that. Ah, it's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this. So they had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room. It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it would be scraping on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, where this is. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Oh, I thought I was examining, like, the cart. Anyone waiting to spend the night has to report there and sign in for this day. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True, London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Yeah, I mean... euros are... No, I'm pretty sure the British pound is still the most valuable currency in the world. Look at these cases just left there in that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. Ah, so it's a trap designed to catch any chances who might be tempted. Oh, hey, I found Porter. Why does that guy look familiar? I feel like I've seen that guy before. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose? Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know. Wasn't that guy like a juror in one of the cases? I think he was. Oh, nothing else to examine, I take it? Okay, well, I could have easily missed that. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna be coming back to this hotel room, so I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. Yeah, that's a month and a half, actually. A little over. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. Starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speaking of yourself, Eugen, you were close friends with the Professor of Forensic Science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosmo's father, I suppose. Yeah, what was his name again? I think his name is, like, Genshin or something. Which that would mean I know 3 things with the name Genshin now. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin? Or should I be like Ninja Gaiden and say Genshin? I don't know. You knew, I presume, father? Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was... Wait, he's playing this song again. It's the song that played in the last case when we were in the graveyard. Is this like an important song or something? Oh, maybe this is the professor's theme. Is that possible? Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. Bro, I'm already yawning and it's 17 minutes in? Like, goddamn. Actually, it's not 17 minutes. I'm 16 minutes in. Alright, looks like Elijah wants me to play Tomodachi Life today, so hell yeah, looks like we're gonna be doing that after. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even on our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect that he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Cosmo growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think he wanted to come here and to investigate his father's death? I don't know, but when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in the trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo's since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What? What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Oh, here we go. It is still really weird seeing these two in, like, frickin' suits. Because they're usually wearing, like, their Japanese attire. As you know, we both thought Cosmo died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try and ascertain what happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream of it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. Yeah, I'm already noticing something's kind of sus with Strongheart. I wonder how Cosmo's been doing these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Your time in Britain. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really? It was Yujin here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they were today, I can tell you. Well, yeah, I want to know how long it took. Like, if it took you 50 days, how long did it take 16 years ago? These are the kinds of things I'm interested in. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation, and I love when I keep pressing the history button for no reason. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at the university at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at the great London hospital to do study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Not more talk of graves. Very often there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something in an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Speaking of tea, let me have a sip of that. Alright. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply cannot believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after the trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Very sad. Even Suzuto's sad. Alright, I'm just having some sip of my tea too. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. I just wait here. Whoosh. Suzuto-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. Must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo, I hope you'll keep an eye on Suzuto for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Aw, that's adorable. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry, what do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour in Britain, as you know. The very year Suzuto was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes, Suzuto-san hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man, and it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind, so perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me in London. So that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not really afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Miss Suzuto. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Oh, of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. It's just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Oh, yes, of course. Yay! Naruhodo doesn't look so good, though.
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruto. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something.
Oh boy, that seems to happen a lot, doesn't it?
I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Oh, okay. I think I might actually get to come back to the hotel then. Well, let's go to the Justice office then. The Justice for All. Oh, wow. Van Zieks is here? Also, according to the wiki, he's fucking 6'4". Like, how? How? How can people be that tall? It's like, I barely even know people who are 6 feet flat. Like, how the fuck? Whatever. I mean, I guess to be fair, Europeans are taller than regular people. Especially Germans. Germans are pretty fucking tall. I don't know if that's a stereotype or not, but that's just based on experience. Okay, maybe just Germans, and maybe occasionally the British people. I think the Scottish are pretty short, actually. Same with the Irish. At least that's from what I've heard. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you've asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zieks doing here?
My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air. What did you say?
Yeah, the two most awkward people to stand next to. This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. What, is Van Zieks not wearing black? Okay, whatever.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruto. Yes, my lord? I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, then beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. Or symposium. I thought it was symposium. Okay, whatever. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, then, Lord Van Zieks. I will attend at once. Man, what's all the daggers?
He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? Maybe he's like, maybe he's giving the signal, I don't know. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service?
Mr. Naruto, he's talking about Dr. Scythe.
Oh, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further.
That'd be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me.
Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
Oh, missing? What's become of Cosmo-sama now?
Alright, well, let's just converse. I don't really feel like examining. I'll probably, like, watch other people examine when I watch other playthroughs of this. I mean, we examined it in the last game, and we examined it with Iris, I think, so we get the gist. Maybe I'm missing an achievement, but oh well. Not long ago, visitor numbers for the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital of Tokyo is 2 million.
Wow, small world, huh? I'll be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries.
Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of the forensic investigation techniques. And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark, this symposium, had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Oh, well, here we go. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
And can you not do that now?
Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say.
Unintended repercussions of our trial.
Well, you're now disbanded again, Naruhodo. Enjoy another 6 months of studying.
We simply couldn't have overlooked what happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General.
Well, it's called Ace Attorney, not Attorney General. That's not the name of the game, is it?
This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. I am altering the deal.
Pray I don't alter it further. Alright. The missing apprentice. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice.
Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say. That you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place?
It came about me 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my, so he stowed away to get here?
Wow, so I stowed away and then he stowed away. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there are no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's. That way I could keep an eye on him. I mean, that's pretty smart.
But then, why the mask?
Oh, well, duh. Yeah, obviously I know why the mask, because we don't want to have, like, an international incident again, right? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeek's with tiresome explanation about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Oh, well, that's also a good reason.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask.
He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeek's. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Where the fuck did he go? To Ireland? Oh.
I take it you also didn't know. That the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genshin Isogi. Why did he not bring up the fact that Cosmo was supposed to be, like, a defense lawyer in Britain? Like, what the hell's up with that? What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah, yes. Genshin Isogi.
Okay, I'm just convinced this is Genshin's theme, then.
The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
There were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government.
Yeah, we don't want to... I mean, it's already been pointed out, but we don't want to, like, sully the contract between Britain and Japan, you know?
So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were polite on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway.
Well, I don't really see how, because Van Zeke's brother was killed, and wasn't he a really good prosecutor? Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Okay. With nothing else to talk about, I guess? You know what, have a look at my armband again. Can I show you this Lord of Strongheart?
I am the Lord Chief Justice. I'm not here to offer advice or evidence.
Okay, he's doing this again. Yeah, we did this last time. Okay, Sholmes is sweet. I would say I could go for some sweets right now, but I already had some cookies with my tea for breakfast, so I'm good. I have, like, the most unhealthy breakfasts ever. Like, I had fucking fried chicken with barbecue sauce for breakfast with cookies and tea. That's, like, it's the most unhealthy shit ever. But, like, I have nothing else, man. I can't even go out because there's a bloody snowstorm right now. I mean, well, there's not really... Well, the snowstorm's, you know, mulled over, but... I still don't want to walk in that snow, man. It's like a couple centimeters of snow, honestly. What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. I don't do it anymore. Mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display. Oh boy, more French people? Who are these people? Look at their hair. It's bright red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Oh, no. They're with Gina. Right, you two, you coming with me now? Down to the clink? No, not in prison. It's dark and damp and I don't like it. Both the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. But you're always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. We'll now get moving. Bye then, Guinea. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks Iris, and thanks, you great detective. What in the bloody hell is going on here? Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Bruno. Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy soon. Ah, yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson.
So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of pub problems known to man. Why did you dye your... Why are you You fucking look like Ronald McDonald, bro. Fucking Ronald McDonald-ass hair over here. But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? It's just ginger season over here, isn't it? Is something wrong, Mr. Narhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face, as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. I'm so sad, I'm almost out of tea. Actually, I am out of tea. No. So sad. This calls for a sound. Yeah. Whatever's going on here today. In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I'm, in fact, expecting a guest later today. You know, actually, you know what Sholmes kind of looks like? He kind of looks like somebody gave him a hair dye in Tomodachi Life. like everything is just dyed a specific color. It's like a freaking bloodshot shade. Well, it's more like ketchup shade of red. What could you compare that to? It's like a tomato red. And like, you know how even when you dye people's hair in Tomodachi Life, even their eyebrows change color? It's like, it's really stupid. Are we gonna have a conversion about the fucking hair? No? Okay. The lie you told. Oh wow. Mr. Sholmes, who are the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? But, when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you are the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I did send the word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man's consumedly in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Ah, I have it. A bungler. That's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. He's too busy having his chips, man. So those redheads have been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. Well, I guess we're not gonna hear, are we? What was that about the greatest problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perhaps? Perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. Yeah, I hear about natural evolution all the damn time. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. I learned about it in frickin' summer school. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it's been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tuspelzillion the other day? Oh, a large sum? One potted head for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all is quite disappeared, I assure you.
Honestly, Haley, you know you quite squandered it.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least.
And what was the answer?
Why, there's a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Don't tell me. Let me see. Are we dancing?
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what it is in front of their noses.
Whenever this music starts playing, you know it's time to start dancing.
Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that's changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Are we gonna have a dance about his fucking Ronald McDonald hair? Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. I was about to say, the lie you told. Mr. Sholmes, is it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us... He did say that. That case aboard the SS Beria in January. Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material which would persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why did it do it in the first place?
Well, I'm just having a sip of my juice. I'll be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, okay, we're done there, I guess. Alright, I'm back. I just went to go use the bathroom and get a drink. So we're gonna... I don't think there's anything to present, really. What about my legal consultancy? Well, I could talk with Suzuto.
It's good news that Professor Mikoto arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful. And the fact that Father's been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father judged Jigoku, us, and Cosmo, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. Suzuto-san's father, who came here as a visiting student 16 years ago, at Kazuma, it's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here from across the ocean to London. And I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now. Oh, that was fun. Fun little fluff dialogue. Where do we go now? The hotel again? No. The Justice's office? Oh, what's up? I don't know, man. Maybe I gotta present my armband, I don't know. Mr. Sholmes, about this.
Tell me, Mr. Hodo, is this the first time you've shown me this particular trinket?
Oh, I don't really remember, to be honest.
If my saying that it's a call of a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck would appropriate a here we go again from your lips, we could be sure it was not the first time. Deduction, you see, my dear fellow. Deduction. Oh, it's nice he had something different to say this time, at least. Maybe I need to examine... Maybe I do need to examine shit after all. Here we go again.
I finally managed to remember this behemoth's name, the Great Analytoscope. I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it?
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker.
Ah, of course.
Oh, that's given me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office will be tidy at last.
Don't even joke about it, Mrs. Toe. You're joking, aren't you? It's like the fucking Anakin Skywalker meme. You guys know the one I'm talking about. There's all sorts of papers on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and also things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot's going to topple at any moment.
Looks as though it might topple and yet it doesn't. The opinion of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance.
I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave away under the strain now.
Looks as though it might topple, and it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray.
I really don't get it. I think I read that already, actually. Some of this stuff is different, some of it's new. This is Mr. Sholmes' famous violin, the one he found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What's it called? Shody something? Yeah, this one. I read this one. I read this one, too. Yeah, I remember this dialogue. Although it's weird because it considers it new. Where the hell did Iris go? If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter.
To think that every single one of the Avengers of Herlock Sholmes blossomed from this very machine. Ah, it's such a dreamy thought.
Yeah, okay. I think we read all of these. See, that's why I don't really tend to read them. Yeah, we did this in, I think, case 2. So what the hell do I do? Well, there's a mask on the table. What's that about? The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
We ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
Oh, so that's something new. My eyes is always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes uses as a coffee table.
Isn't it where Iris keeps the very important papers?
It is, so you'd think they treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it.
Oh no!
I suppose something must have been frustrating him.
What a shame to mistreat the furniture, though. Was it damaged?
The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes.
Oh dear, that's a painful tale.
What about this paper that's on the chair? Or I guess the love seat?
This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circling in red ink there?
It's an advertisement column. It says... To the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but...
Oh, I see. Is something on my face? Clearly, this has something to do with that. Lively hair. Oh, okay. So we gotta present that to him, I guess? So that's the thing so that's what the thing I was supposed to examine, then, I take it. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've ever seen since we moved in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Okay, we've read that before. Alright, I don't think there's anything else, but we can definitely do that. We can present this to him.
Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, at last you've learned to apply my method, Mr. Naruto.
Sorry.
In the first instance, I'm quite indispensable observation.
Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with my details of latest exploits.
Regale or boast? Well, let's talk about it. So what's this Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled?
You've noticed in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment.
It was? How? I like how ever since, like, Case 3, Sholmes has just been, like, struggling with rent. It's like a funny ongoing joke.
According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? I'm guessing that was a lot back then. But why? What are they paying people for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
I mean, to be fair, you know, redheads are a pretty big minority. How many redheads do you see in your day-to-day life, right? But surely every redhead person in the country will be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I. Just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. Well, your hair's pink and your hair's black, so no. Trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can.
But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
Wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, it seems like it's in bad taste again. So you decide to try and join in his place.
Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you seen such red-headed fellow?
No.
So why did it have to go wrong?
What on earth happened?
A blunder, Mr. Naruto, though it pains me to admit it.
Oh, your blunder? Okay. Why did the second statement update? It's usually like the fourth one that does that. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Miss Suzuto. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry.
Oh. Chemistry?
I was conducting some research on a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that when taken, turns one's hair flame-like red.
So it's not hair dye? Okay.
Would you like to try it? It'll make your every hair on your head perfectly crimson.
I think I'll pass. But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh, I should have never doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say...
But of course. To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Suzuto with red hair. That sounds pretty nice, actually. So anyway, Haley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair for the park on Lime Street when the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-haired folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Well, that's not good. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply. Shush! No, don't give me away. After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
Oh dear, what a disaster. The Haley and those two redheads.
Oh shit. Ha ha! Here's my guest now, my latest client, with money to spend.
Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Haley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear, I'm afraid that Haley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent's due.
Oh, it's the lady from the last case? Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Hillock Sholmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband. He's run away. Well, so much for not dealing with runaways. To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruto? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please?
Of course.
What's the matter, Miss Suzuto?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently.
Yes, now you come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Viegel. How do you say that name? I don't know. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money's no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth have little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you'll remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir? This gentleman and lady would be? Oh, me? What am I about to tell you? I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why'd I ever get my hopes up? Oh, okay. Well, look at this band. Mrs. Vigil, would you mind casting your eyes over this? Oh, my poor Daly, where have you gone? What's become of you?
I'm afraid she's too worried about her husband to pay any attention, Mr. Naruto.
Either that, or she just doesn't want to be bothered with me. Now we have this funny song again. Mrs. Vigil and Mr. Vigil. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my! Ha ha! My dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. Yeah, I didn't think her of all people would come back. I didn't quite recognize it because she's acting so differently now. Must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was really nothing more. Now look at you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my daily is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Ah. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? It'll be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Well, have you ever seen Sholmes open his eyes while smoking? That looked kind of weird. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mrs. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. A guard? That is somewhat unusual. Okay. Is a warder different from a warden? So your husband's a prison warder. That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he's remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Sounds familiar. Isn't that where Selden and Shamspear were at? Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Oh, wow, it's all coming back together. No. Lowgate Cemetery, the very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Oh shit, I just thought of something. What if... Holy fuck, I didn't even think about this, but what if frickin', what if Mr. Vigil was the other guy at the cemetery that was, with frickin' Drebber? What if he was, like, Drebber's colleague or something? Is that possible? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past this game to bring that up. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? Alright, what about your husband's disappearance? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry, yesterday? That really is recent, laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, this has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, what can ever have happened? I'm trying to understand the pun here, like... Heavy Vigil? Daily Vigil? I don't know. Maybe I should look at the wiki. The wiki might know. You know what? I'm praying I don't spoil myself anything. I just want to look at the nomenclature. Alright. Let me see. Her name is a pun on evening vigil? Evening, huh? So maybe I should call her Evie then, not Evie? I don't know. And then daily is obviously on the word daily, right? Yeah, I guess that makes it. Well, what's a vigil then? Like, I haven't heard that word before. What is a vigil? Let's see. A watch kept during normal sleeping hours, the act of a period of observing. Surveillance, I guess? Right, I guess that would kind of line up with the whole warden thing, right? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband's only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay you any sum you care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you've shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report me with soon good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Oh, okay. So we have that too. Thank you. Now allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous.
You know, I think every time, Haley. But how do you come up with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her some good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Why wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing's surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Yeah, oh boy, here we go again. Fucking Sephiroth over here.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
Professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man's equally worried.
But aren't you going to go yourself?
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
Yeah, busy trying to undye your hair, I guess. With your fucking Ronald McDonald ass hair. Of course you are. Alright, well.
Guess we're gonna go to the prison. This will be the second time that we've had an Ace Attorney case take place in a prison, I believe. The first time being in Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Barclay Prison's on the outskirts of London, backing into a lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Ooh. Okay, well, I see a number of things here. Why is there, like, a toy guillotine in the background? That's kind of concerning. This is, like, yeah, this is just dead-ass a warden's office. Like, it's got guns and stuff on the walls and everything. Holy shit. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can now remember the last time a civilian was down here. And you didn't want to talk with an inmate, but to me? Wow, look at this guy. Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor of Barry Caden, huh?
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer.
And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean?
Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes? Oh wait, he's Scottish, right? So I gotta give him a Scottish accent.
Well, there's any your kind in here then, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't know there's another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about...
I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get up me air.
So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this.
That surely means...
I think it's because of the Professor case.
Oh, here we go. There's his theme song again.
10 years ago, Genshin Asobi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison.
I might have known. You're sniffing around boot the case, aren't you? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Get going with you, before I punch your lights out.
We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caden? What are you thinking, Miss Uzato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently, somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us.
Didn't fucking, it was either Gina or Sholmes that mentioned him, right?
Come to think of it, I have the feeling...
Well, what do you think of my badge?
Governor Caden, could I at least show you this? How many times can one man turn his back on you in a single conversation?
Oh, okay, now he's looking back again. What about this article?
No.
it does look really funny to see him turn around a bunch, though. Okay, guess not. I didn't really need to practice my Scottish accent again. Scottish accent? Yeah. I said get out! Oh, okay. We can't even talk with him. Can I examine? No, I can't. Wow, well that's just fantastic, isn't it? What about the hotel? Oh, hey look, he's just chilling back there.
That's Professor Mikotoba over there.
Oh, was Mikotoba the one that said that then? Maybe I'm misremembering. Oh, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked.
Where's Judge Jigoku?
Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects at all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before. About how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison?
Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? Okay, he was the one. I don't know why I thought Gina or Holmes mentioned it.
So it is the same man.
I just know somebody mentioned it in this episode, so yeah.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Busy drinking coffee in our comfortable city?
No, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts?
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea.
What's he writing on that piece of paper?
Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Ah, thank you. Letter of introduction. A note of introduction on our behalf from Professor Mikotoba to Governor Caden. Hopefully he'll be willing to talk to us.
Good luck, then.
I kinda wanna read that, actually. Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least call you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help.
Oh, and there's a thing on the back.
Oh, looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Cruise, first class cabin 01. Yokohama departure 11 September, London arrival 1st September. Oh wow, what an unfortunate date to leave. Oh, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it's called Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before arriving in Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Burya. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine on my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh?
Okay. Maybe that'll come up later, I don't know. Alright, and well, we don't need... Can we examine this? Oh. Get 4 pounds a week if you're a redhead. Wow. Wish that was that easy. So he's just chilling there. That's funny, I didn't expect to just see him sitting there with the paper. Alright.
If you'd just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden.
What's this, then? You cannot put your wool over me eyes. You good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensic laboratory? That Mikotoba?
Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugen Mikotoba's daughter, Suzuto.
Jings, you're the young man's daughter. And did you not think to mention that before?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And did I forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits?
Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you then?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
Man, and I tried giving Gina the Scottish accent, but this guy is like full-on Scottish. That's the thing, Gina's not actually Scottish. I just like giving her that accent because it's funny and fun to do. But she's from the East End of London, so like, not really Scottish. Just like that one guy, that fucking Willy Wonka fuckhead from the third case of the first game. I gave him the Irish accent, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing an Irish accent again anytime soon. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I have nae heard of nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in me prison.
Oh.
But how can that be?
It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Eh, Vigil?
That's right.
His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him.
Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course. Alright. I understand that Mr. Vigil's the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was fine with it. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he does nae work here no more. He left the job.
Oh my.
When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? It can't have been much less than 10 years ago now.
What?
10 years ago? He started working 10 years ago? Aye, as I mind it, you know then. I have nae heard the fella's name that time. Has to believe he's gone missing though.
But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that this wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here.
Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
Can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago.
Ah.
Which is exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. Oh boy, here we go. This is the good tea that I want to hear.
So, Mr. Vigil,
I keep wanting to say Mr. Virgil.
I might actually just start doing that. Actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he did nae leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean, he was dismissed? It was, after a particular walk.
Sorry, a walk?
Aye, that's the word for it here. A walk to the gallows.
An execution?
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable in the last walk he was manning.
What'd he do?
I'm sorry, but can I reveal that information? But I can tell you it's very rare for a chief warder to breathe of his post.
But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I didn't know anything about that, I'm afraid. This is like the shittiest Scottish accent ever.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstance of dismissal?
And what will that be, then?
That last execution that Mr. Virgil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, really am. But I'm not at liberty to answer that.
I see.
Well, let's just say he was, then.
My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research, you know then.
Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just one far side on the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinus. It's still in use today.
St. Sinus? That's called... Oh, what, did I say St. Sinners or St. Signers? I don't know. I don't really know how to pronounce that one. That's counting for him, sure. I think it's Sinners because it's 2 N's, but I could be wrong. Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikatoba and I have to use to ride in the carriage together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, and we used to sit here for hours and gab on about dissection all sorts. Oh, he takes me back. Over a pot of tea and plate of biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand your Japanese.
Because of a Genshin Asogi, I suppose.
Well, can I tell you anything else?
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one more thing before you weigh in. I'm sure I have it here somewheres. Oh, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's nigh the original mind.
Virgil's dismissal notice has been entered in the court record. Alright. Thank you very much, Governor Caden.
Wait in return. Do me a favour and never come back here. That case is closed.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes what we found about Mr. Virgil. I'm just gonna keep saying Mr. Virgil, I don't fucking care. What will he tell Mrs. Virgil, I wonder? Oh. Can I examine this place? I never got the chance to do that. Ah, look. We have an opportunity here now while the governor's away. Mr. Naruhodo, you couldn't be in prison if you were caught. That's a good point. Perhaps not then. Really? Oh, okay, so all of this is nothing then. Alright, the hotel again? Oh, hey, he's still here. The Lord Chief Justice's office? Oh, hey, you're still here. Hey, what do you know about, this? Oh, nothing? Okay. Why else would he still be here? Like, clearly I feel like I have to do something with him, unless he's just here for the lulz.
Penned by Dr. Mikatoba, I see. It's been 10 long years.
But you remember my father, do you?
Certainly, I remember him, and the 2 other visiting students. Of course, Mikatoba was assigned to the hospital laboratory, so we rarely met. Jigoku, on the other hand, studied our justice system under my personal supervision.
Oh, I see.
As I said, that was 10 years ago now, but I'm pleased to see they both made names for themselves in their particular disciplines.
Ah, well, that's some fun dialogue. So he had something interesting to say about Mikatoba then, that's cool. Alright, do I have to go back to Sholmes' suite again? Oh, okay, here we go. Or maybe it's nothing, I don't know. We're back.
Hello, you 2.
Oh, it's Iris.
I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Ah, so that's what the delicious smell is.
Greetings, my dear fellows.
Oh my god, he's Dan TDM now.
You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. He went from Ronald McDonald to fucking Dan TDM. That's crazy. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your face in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Oh my.
Pray tell me, what of our water friend? Have you gotten some new information?
Oh, yeah, something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that...
Sholmes!
Oh, it's Gina. Drop everything, Sholmes. This is more important. Gina? I can't Adam and Eve it. What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade to make no mention of my hair whatsoever.
It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Gregson? Oh no, I don't like seeing her sad. The boss is... he's dead.
What?
They just found his body, shot with a pistol.
What?
But... Inspector Gregson?
He was murdered?
No, not Gregsy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Oh, I have to know about this. Come on. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... he was really shot? I don't know much about what happened to myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in the building full of flats on Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
Thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was... he was so good to me. I know I ain't much to you yet, but one day I was going to show him. I was going to show him I had become a proper detective. Oh, Jenny. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Already? They've caught the shooter so soon? A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What's the awful person who did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina. It was the Reaper. There's no fucking way. That's the cap. But wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shoot the boss. No, Lord Van Zeeks. I don't believe it. That's cap.
Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Bert Von Zeeks the police have arrested?
I saw it with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actual multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when a lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper Burke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. I didn't think he was gonna die so soon.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What are you saying for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help.
It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there being a great detective if I failed to see something like this coming? How could I let this happen to Gregson? Mr. Arhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes. We will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you're intending to do so anyway. Until later then.
Wow. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zeek's arrested?
Bruno, Susie, I've called you a handsome. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Suzuto?
Yes.
Well, hang on a sec. This poses a very grave question. If Van Zeeks is like held in contempt, then who the fuck's the prosecutor gonna be? He can't prosecute himself, can he? I don't know, but I think I'm gonna leave this on a cliffhanger for now. But this case is already starting out with a bang. But, I think I've gone on long enough, so we will do the rest of the investigation in the next episode. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. And we will do more of Case 4 whenever I have the chance. Whenever I have the time, really. So, I will see you guys later, alright?